Good evening and welcome to the Boise State Esports Arena. And tonight we are starting off Boise State's Collegiate Rocket League journey for the spring 2023 season. We're coming off an exciting performance by the Broncos from the fall 2022 season. We'll see how they do in the opening match against Monterrey Institute of Technology, all the way from Mexico. They're the team, the Barrios Slavagis Monterrey. That translates to the Wild Sheep Monterrey, which you'll probably hear us, your hosts Jacob and Colin, referring to a little bit more, just because it's a little bit easier to pronounce. But, Colin, why don't you tell us why this is so momentous? How did Boise State do last season in CRL?
Yeah, just to give enough context to really talk about the story in the season of 2022 in spring, it really was sort of, we finished in the sort of latter half of the season. Overall, out of 16 teams, we finished, I believe it was 14 in the overall team placings. I could be wrong, but I know most definitely in this latest new season of last year, 2022, we really finished out really strong in an overall placing of 3rd place. So that's a massive jump and a massive gain, and we made it to the playoffs. We didn't make it super far in the playoffs, but nevertheless, we have the experience, and this is Dirtho's second, I believe it'd be second CRL season. So there's a lot of experience from this team as well, and a lot of knowledge and a lot of capability coming from this team. So I know for me, I'm expecting a lot of great things.
We'll see how the Broncos do. Once again, they are going up against Monterrey from Mexico. We've had a good amount of international competitions in terms of Boise State competing against some Canadian teams, but we also are playing against some teams from Mexico in CRL, and it's sure to be very exciting. And if the Broncos want to do well, they, of course, have to follow Doc's keys to the game in Rocket League, and that's going to be to create mistakes, punish double commits, don't overstay your welcome, and bump opponents to disrupt. Those are Doc's keys to the game, and I have to kind of recap, Colin. Not only are Broncos looking for a good performance this season, but their performance in the last fall season and this spring season is going to determine how can they qualify for the Worlds in summer. And I was talking to some of the players a few weeks ago, and they were telling me, hey, that 3rd place finish, that 3rd place ranking overall for us from fall, that's good enough, but we have to maintain it. So we're looking for the same performance. I think that was a 13-2 win-loss record for this season as they did last season. So it's a tall order, but I'm sure the Broncos can find it in them to make this an exciting match. Here we go. First match of 2023 Spring CRL.
Starting off strong. To come to a recap on that last one, those only 2 losses that we had in that 13-2 record were to CC and UNLV, which UNLV went undefeated in that first season they had, and also CC, who only lost, I believe, those 2 games as well. So moving forward, Gil pushing up on this corner piece, almost gets the angle exactly right. I believe what it's going to be, Gamma will probably be what I'll be pronouncing as Instinct. The shot might have the backside, not going to quite get it. They do get a clear. Montre, Dirtho's up, try to elevate over one, doesn't quite get it. The ball's off the side, now play on the defensive side. Dirtho still up with the ball, Sam. Gil now with the defensive saves, keeping it to the corner.
Ooh, that's a nice bounce and an opening for Boise State. They're going to take it all the way to the other side of the field, put a whole lot of pressure on Montre, and find the first goal of the game from Dirtho.
Dirtho deciding not to go for this super tight angle of shot that you probably could have taken, decides to go for off the sidewall here and gets a much better reset off the sidewall. And a much more difficult shot to predict, quite honestly, and gets it past 2 defenders, setting Boise State up early with a 1-0 lead.
Dirtho already running a bit of interference in mid, knocking the players away from the goal, so Instinct can try to make a move. Gil with the follow-up, going to run right into Absorbent Karma as Gamma now moves up the field around the corner, setting it up for Montre, but there's no follow-up. Dirtho and Karma in a 50. It's not going to quite go in either. Another 50 between the 2 teams, and a lot of fighting in mid for side control. Dirtho with a nice flip is trying to set it up, but it now goes over to Gamma. Shot toward the goal is going to go wide to the left.
Yo not keeping possession of the ball. Another shot coming out from Montre. Dirtho on the defensive side. Gamma getting bumped, leaving the net a little bit open here. Is Dirtho going to be able to beat? Dirtho fakes with the ball, giving Instinct now possession. Looking to play around 50 in front of their nets. Really dangerous inside of Montre. They had now possession of the ball, rocking the version 1 skin with the Mexico flag. Dirtho does come under, gets a little bit of beat, playing that sacrificial ones role. disrupting it again, open net. Dirtha now has a shot, puts it on net.
That's just a bit of over-rotation from Montre. You see their third player goes across the midfield marker. There's no one on the orange half of the field. Dirtha recognizes that, scores the goal, and brings it to 3-0 for the Broncos.
Right up the kickoff. Kickoff's going to go in the favor of the blue side. Boise State. Dirtha now elevates, get one touch. Looking for the second here. Instinct now with the 50 here. Not a lot on the defensive side for Montre, the Wild Sheep. Gamma does get a clear. One is elevated for it. Doesn't quite get it. Dirtha now has possession of the ball. Takes one touch. Looking for a second. Does get a flick over. Sand is there to touch it, though. Gil now the last man back. Does get one touch played off to the side. Instinct might have to make a turn. Gets a cut here. Send it on the other side. Dirtha's waiting for the other side of the field. Gets one touch looking for the flick. Isn't able to get it over another. Instinct keeping it up. There might be a follow-up by Dirtha. There is not.
As we have
still keep it alive.
2 minutes, 20 seconds left. It goes up the field, a flip off to the side, and it takes a weird angle, almost scoring the third goal for the Broncos, excuse me. It feels like it was 3-0, but it's actually 2-0. But we'll see if the Broncos can indeed get their third goal as they move up the field. Shot toward the goal by Gil and finds it.
Gil getting a really good carry here, using all this momentum to stay with it. Really good pass at the sidewall to themselves and just keeps it going all the way. 3-0 with 2 minutes left remaining here. Starting off really strong for the Broncos.
Next kickoff between the two teams. Is going to head off to the side as Dirtha looks to take control of the ball. Montre gets a touch on it, but the Broncos are now going to elevate themselves up. Instinct looking to save and is going to follow off to the side. And here we see Dirtha now ready to take the air dribble. Gets the shot, and it's saved by absorbing Karma.
Also looking for the bump play there was. Dirtha gets a flip reset off the ceiling. Doesn't quite work out. Dirtha not still sticking with the ball. Ball stuck in the corner a little bit. Boise State trying to look for some type of clear, some midfield pass to relieve any pressure. Now off the backboard. Dirtha looking for the double touch. Doesn't quite get it. Now the Broncos on a more defensive half. The 50 does get dunked. Now off the sidewall here. See a little bit of Sam and Karma. Karma able to get the defensive side, played over to the side of their own side, corner control, trying to keep it control on the sidewall here. Does get 50, doesn't quite go in their favor. Gil is now elevated, gets one touch. Dirtha now has control, looking for a 50, does get it. Oh, a little bit of missed touch. Oh, and what a tight angle taken by Instinct.
Boise State finding their fourth and almost assuredly securing them the victory for this first of the best of five. Just nice, a little pinch. Off of the wall, into the goal. Now Boise State just 1 minute left. Sitting pretty comfortable. I think it's going to start out with a demo on Gamma.
50% ceiling challenge coming out from Sand. Straddle trying to get the second touch. Doesn't enough boost to do it. Gamma might have the shot. Didn't quite get it. Was interrupted. And now the shot from Karma is going to beat out anybody on the defense there. And that's their first goal. But they still got 3 more to make up with 43 seconds left.
And Boise State Gale just a little bit to the rotation on the back post for that one. 43 seconds left. 3 goals needing to be made up by Montre. Santhino was able to win that early kickoff, get a bit of space for the Wild Sheep, but now the Broncos gonna have it a bit stolen away from them. Montre would need to score a goal right here, right now. 30 seconds left in this first game.
Very good defense from the side of Gil. Still has a lot of possession on the side of the Wild Sheep. Now the pass out to mid is interrupted by Gil. Gamma gets one touch off the sidewall. It's going to disrupt any flow there. A shot off the sidewall is deflected once again. Dirtha's now up, gets one touch off the backboard. Is their fault? There is backboard defense from the side of the Wild Sheep. Sand trying to look for a touch. Does get one. It's a little bit too slow. Not enough power on it. Karma trying to get something to the midfield. They're putting a lot of absolute pressure on here, and it's quickly put down on the ground by, I believe that was Instinct. And just like that, Boise State's going to take the first match of CRL opening.
Well, first game of the first match. There are still 2 left for the Broncos to secure. Overall, them getting a pretty convincing win, 4-1. And it seems like Montre Institute of Technology. What do you think overall are you seeing as their biggest strengths that they could use to turn this around?
The one goal they sort of had, as expected of a 6-year-old team, they are sort of able to keep up. I think Boise State right now is just being a little more creative with the shot and ability. The mechanical ability seems to be there to keep up with Boise State. It just seems like Boise State's really fast, but from the side of the Wild Sheep, I think they did take a couple good shots that were there. I think they need to get back on the offensive side of it. If they can find some way to kind of compete the demoing side of Boise State, they might find a little more openings than they expect.
We'll see if that is indeed the case as we're ready to head into Game 2 of this best of 5. Both teams taking a little bit of a short break, but are ready to head back into the action very soon nonetheless. Boise State fighting right now to start the season off right with 1-0. Basically, if you kind of think about this, I mean, it depends on the other teams, but ultimately it's almost kind of a 3-strike system. If they have to match roughly the same performance as they did 13-2 last semester. That means that, they want to try to get the same overall win-loss record. So 3 losses, something the Broncos want to be able to start things off right and not spend one of those already.
Instinct now to play a little bit defensive half. Is playing off to the corner here. Does get it past one. Karma looking for the pass out to Sand. Gil, and Dirtho combining to get that really good defensive half. Gil in this net here. Dirtho does get the touch there. Gil's a little more forward, looking for a pass perhaps. Dirtho does get around one. Karma is there to get the extra touch. Looking for a pass here. Gamma is in the midfield, is blocked once again by Instinct. They're now on the offensive counterattack. Dirtho now has one touch off the ceiling. Looking for a pinch. Does get it. Gets it around 2 defenders.
Off the ground, and not only is Dirtho making the showy play in midair, but look at Instinct getting in the face of Karma, pushing him back into the goal. He cannot respond to the shot by Dirtho. That is a well-oiled team play machine.
Off the kickoff here, Gamma has a little bit of possession. Instinct is given right around 1. Off the side wall, Dirtho tries to contest it, is blocked out a little bit. Now to make a full contest on the ball. Instinct is able to beat Karma up to it. Dirtho now elevated off the sidewall as well. Off the ceiling, does get one touch down to Gil. Gil takes a shot. It's just a little bit far off. Bar down does not work out for it. Instinct now being the last defender. Dirtho's quick to rotate. Sand trying to get a little bit of a pass. Let's go a bit too high to do anything with it. Gil now sending out Dirtho. Dirtho quick to send this ball back up to the sidewall. Keeping control, keeping possession, gets a flick and gets it past one. Wow! And the defense with Karma is going to stop that from happening.
Dirtho centering it back up, absorbing Karma, takes a shot over toward Gamma. It's going to head back into Boise State's territory. Santhino looking for the centering. Gamma in the center. Gil beats him to it. Instinct now taking the ball. A double touch. Plays it past one. Back over to Dirtho, who almost tenderly pushes it into the goal. Gil with a follow-up. Absorbing Karma. Breakaway shot, and the Broncos pay for that.
That's really hard to defend against. You get this really good offensive commitment from Dirtho and Gil, and they just block out both those attempts. And Instinct's left here to just play the shadow defense and has to make a commit one way or another. And just a really good flick by Karma. And just like that, for the first game in this series, Boise State and Monterey are tied up here.
Dirtho takes the ball. Gamma is able to get a good shot toward the goal of Boise, and a double commit on the save from Instinct and Gil. Dirtho might just try to keep the Broncos in good spirits, and he does, getting the second goal.
What a great flick coming out from Dirtho here. Has so many options to go with here. Has so much free real estate of space to work with. Only one defender on that side of the net, and you're just keeping them guessing at that point. Is it an air dribble? Is it an air dribble bump? Is it a flip reset? Is it a backboard double touch? I don't know. Either way, it's a goal, though.
Dirtho with a nice cheat, but it's still on the kickoff. Wild Sheep proving that they can cheat on the kickoff as well. Keeping the side control. At least a bit of a defense going against Boise State right now. Now they pass it past midfield and get back to side control. Santhino, this is dangerous. It's going to drop right in front of the Boise's goal, and absorbent Karma cashes in.
A really sort of good or lucky, whatever you want to call it, 50 coming out from Sand, just going for that up top part and just leaves Instinct and Dirtho in really awkward spots, and that 50 is just so well placed for them. There's not much you can do after that. You're just looking for sort of another lucky clear by the BSU side, and unfortunately it doesn't come, and now we're at this 2-2 spot with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left as they might take another shot on net.
Well, as they would say, the turns have tabled in this particular game. This is a great shot off of the kickoff. Durtho trying to get a last-minute save, but ultimately it's not going to be enough. Now Boise State finds themselves trailing for the first time this match.
Kickoff goals are really frustrating to deal with. Gil now elevated, trying to get it over Karma. Does sort of get it over the. Now Karma's still on this back wall here. Sand to take over here. Durtho playing off the sidewall, faking around one. Absence going to bang it to the backboard here. Sand trying to get a pass down to Karma. Karma is taking the shot. Gamma there to follow up quickly. It's off the backboard. Would have missed 2 contention shots from the Wild Sheep here. Now Boise State's back on this counteroffensive here as a 50 doesn't go in their favor as it's right back on their defensive side. Durtho getting a bad 50. Gil trying to contest on this backward shot. It has to be played out by Instinct. Instinct with a really good backward save there. And they've got to look for some offensive play. They've got to do something. Gil now's possession gets a flick over Sand. Sand does get off the backboard here. There might be fallout from Instinct. Doesn't get it. Gil on one more touch. Durtho's up, elevated, gets one off the backboard, looking for the play down. Oh, it's just not quite there.
Shot back towards center. Gil takes the shot. Boise State gets an equalizer. 3-3 just when they desperately needed it.
Sort of really bad touch coming out there from Sand, and Gil makes this really good cut on the offensive side. Reading that just a little bit and puts the car right in perfect position to read that ball. Playing for that sidewall positioning ends up ending up in a goal. 3-3 with about a minute 30 left.
Instinct taking the ball toward the goal. Last-minute flip, actually. That looked like it might have just gone into the goal itself, but either way, Boise State has to recover, try to win that 50. It's going to head back to the other side of the field. Durtho now takes it towards center. Absorbing Karma looking to beat him on the 50. Instinct is able to win it. Santhino shot back toward midfield. Gil's going to answer it, fill up on boost himself, and leave it for Durtho, who is able to unexpectedly win the 50 and get the goal.
Just getting complete beat up here. I don't know if this was a whiff or a 50 or what exactly. Hopefully this replay was shining a little more light. Yeah, again, just completely whiffs that ball, misses it, and Durtho's playing for that whiff is there.
I thought there was no way ever that Boise State would actually get that.
Yeah, that was looking like a tough goal to score, but nevertheless, they get up here, and Gil now with the elevation here, sticking close to the ball. Karma is going to beat it out. Instinct trying to get a pass out to midfield. Sand putting her on the other side of the corner. Gives Gamma a lot of possession and control. Gamma not taking a whole lot of control there, but does get the demo on Gil. Leaves a little open space. Durtho not able to elevate fast enough. Instinct now with control of the ball off the sidewall. Here again, the pass over to Durtho. Durtho trying to get a sneaky little interesting angle there. And Gil with the shot. It's saved by Karma. Back and forth these offenses and defenses go.
30 seconds left with the Broncos maintaining a narrow 1-goal lead. Durtho tries a pinch off the ground like he did last time, but it's not going to be successful in finding the goal. Gil with a little bit of a flick off to the side. It's both Instinct and Durtho waiting on the ground to keep the shot going, but Absorbing Karma is able to get a favorable angle to himself. I don't know if Montre can score a goal in the last 10 seconds to be able to equalize this. Should the timer tick down, Boise State will win the second of this best of 7, and Durtho is going to make sure that happens. Boise State now 2-0 in their overall match. And just to kind of show you that this is indeed the big leagues, we are so used to kind of normal tournaments having best of 5 matches. But CRL, we are in it for the long haul, best of 7.
And I know from personal experience, not only from talking to players at a lower level division of collegiate play, but also at a very high level division, players sort of appreciate the best of 7 a little bit more because it may seem very time consuming, but to them, they are so in this game and so focused on it. Time just goes by so fast for them, and I think they really do appreciate the best of 7 because it really lets them, play the game out so much longer and show off their skills and really sort of decide who's the better team. Best of 3s feel really fast, and the fact you can get a reverse sweep in 2 games. The fact you can just lose off that, it can be tough.
Well, for the players and audience, it sure is exciting. For those of us who have to speak at 700 words per minute during the action, it's a little bit more tiring. But
where's my water?
I know. I am not going to be in the position to complain because these players from Boise State practice so intensely to prepare for this. They are on the precipice for making it to Worlds for CRL. There is so much at stake in this tournament, more than ever the Broncos have faced in playing for CRL. And we'll see if they can start off this season right. They've started off this match right with 2 wins in this best of. Oh nope, I was faked out again. It's a best.
Oh, it's a best of 5. Okay,
maybe match point then for the Broncos.
All right,
either way.
Even better for us, I would say, honestly. Oh, but a very unlucky 50-50 coming out from Instinct on that wall, trying to elevate, get a touch here. Ah, man, there's nothing you can do. You just got to chalk that up to bad luck. It is what it is, and just move on. It's only one goal.
Well, just a little bit more than 10 seconds, and Boise State is already trailing. Gill, though, is able to stop Santhino's shot on goal. A nice cheat for the kickoff. Durtho now off to the side, plays it off the wall. Gill's going to be the next to take it. He whiffs on that, so it's left to Instinct. Up the wall, past Santhino. Zorvin Karma look for the shot from Durtho here. Not going to find it. Nice attempt by the Broncos. Instinct is still trying to keep the play alive. Gill is looking to play under Karma. Manages to do it. The Gamma comes in and gets back a bit of control for the Wild Sheep.
Instinct now control, getting the flipper set off the ceiling here, looking to play it down off a big bounce here. Gamma not able to read that. Durtho trying to get a touch on the wall. Karma's up, gets one touch, it hits the backboard. The crossbar is going to be our defender for this game. Gamma might have another shot here. Oh, and there's a bump in the net, and that's going to give Gamma the ability to put that ball in the net, put the Monterey Wild Sheep up 2-0. Yeah, Instinct just gets bullied in the back of the net. Gill not able to get there in time.
The demo onto Gill, the interference onto Instinct. Well played by the Wild Sheep. Now Monterey leads Boise State 2-0. 4 minutes, Instinct gets a demo onto Gamma. But will it be enough for the Broncos to make a play? Right now off the backboard, it's over Karma to Santhino. Doesn't find the third goal for Monterey.
This could be big if they're able to get a break here on the side of Boise State. They don't have a whole lot of boosts, especially in their back half here. As Instinct's at 0. Luckily, Durtho and Gill are at a pretty high amount, and the orange boost is looking decently full here. Gamma looking for a pinch play. Does indeed get the pinch off. I don't know exactly how. Durtho able to make a great save off the sidewall there. Working as a team to sort of create this narrow shot path they have to make. Gill gets a really good 50 off. A little bit of fakes here. He'll wind down to his last 3 minutes of this match point for Boise State.
Gamma around the corner. Follow up. Oh, Montrey's being extra patient in this slow play. Didn't like the look of Durtho's save. Durtho's going to try to turn that into a clear. Instinct takes the shot back to Durtho. Redirected into the goal. Boise State is one away.
Durtho with a heads-up mentality there, sees this backfield and so many players to just rotate out, but sticks around just a little bit longer this half second, gets the beautiful underside touch, gets it around the Wild Sheep defender, and just puts the Boise State Broncos right back in the running for this.
Next kickoff, Gill and Durtho looking to cheat absolute Karma, though Absorbent Karma did a better job, however, putting a shot on goal directly on, but they rotate out deeper, and Durtho equalizes.
Instinct with a beautiful pass here. This heads-up touch right there just gets over one, makes the pass out the mid, gets it over Gamma, and Durtho's in perfect position to receive that ball. Great team play going for Boise State. It's tied up with just under 3 minutes left remaining.
Almost to halftime in Game 3. And Gill with a nice cheat off of the kickoff. He's going to immediately get some side control. Instinct shot on goal, upper left corner. Boise State in the lead.
And this is the lethality of this Boise State offense right here. And nearly under about maybe 30 seconds, they've put 3 goals on the board here. And just like that, what they were in the deficit of looking, oh, this might be, a different scenario here. Nope, they put it right back in their favor.
Durtho rotating back. Trying to keep Gamma at bay. Zorvin Karma also rotates up a bit too far, has to reset. Demo onto Gamma. Karma with the goalie looking to save it, followed by Instinct, finds his goal.
There's a great start off there. The really good demo by Durtho gives a lot of time here, and Karma makes a really bad touch, not clearing this ball properly at all, leaves it in front of the net. Instinct just gets this nice little baby touch around him, and just like that. I do want to point out that a lot of the Wild Sheep attackers were on the side of Boise State, and they weren't able to really properly get back with the boost they needed to defend, or more or less properly defend as well. Durtho going for the little bit of fake there, doesn't quite get it off. Karma playing really fast here. Instinct trying to make the touch. Gill is going to clear it up to the corner here, playing for the 50. Instinct's back up there. Once again, takes some possession of the ball. Gill now has position. Back to Instinct. Instinct making the pass to Durtho. Durtho off the back wall, the sidewall, gets the pinch off the sidewall. Gill might have a shot. Does take it. Putting it top left.
Instinct hat trick! Wow. beautiful play by Instinct. He was the last line of defense for the Broncos. You can also see the Wild Sheep just really struggling in the goal. 2 members trying to elevate up, both of them whiffing on it. And now Boise State, and Instinct with a hat trick, going into the final 2 minutes of this game looking confident.
Instinct's actually definitely paying off and giving the Boise State quite a bit of cushion to work with here with just about 2 minutes left to work with. Instinct being credited with the clear. One more. Gamma putting his back ball. Recentered again. Karma looking for the pass. Does get it off the backboard here. Dirtho getting a really good save. Credited with the save for the game. Looking for a 50. Does get it. There's not a Boise State defender in net right now. And the Wild Sheep are going to take advantage of that. Put in a goal up on the board here. Making the scoreline difference. Only 2 goals.
Absorbing Karma finding a great opening against the Broncos. None of the Broncos on back post to defend that. 90 seconds left in this match, and both of them are going to try to cheat the kickoff, but the ball's going to head off to the side. Instinct is cleaning up. Gamma takes it away from him. 50 in favor of Gil. That's a huge one. Boise State now has side control. A shot on goal, and a redirect by Dirtho. Instinct finds his 4th.
Right there, finding the 4th here. A really big clear by Gil. Taking the shot. Dirtho tries to be on that backboard there. Looking for another creative shot, but Instinct is just that 3rd follow-up, man. They play this positioning so well. And they go up 63. Once again, back to this 3-point cushion here with just about 1 minute, 18 seconds left. Right off the kickoff here, Steve keeping control. Dirtho trying to get a pass out here. Looking to beat one. Isn't able to beat Karma. Karma's still sticking with us on the sidewall here. Gil has managed to get around. It's going to drop right down in front of the ceiling. Oh, just barely off.
1 minute left and a 3-goal lead for Boise State. 20 seconds a goal. Very tough challenge for Montre to overcome, especially if one final goal would do it. Gil's looking for it. Bounces off the crossbar. Absorbing Karma now taking the ball. Santino following closely behind. Santino takes a shot. It's going to go wide off to the right. Gil passes to Dirtho. Intercepted by Gamma. Shot on goal from Absorbing Karma over to Santino. The ball is high into the backboard. And now 30 seconds left.
Pass might be down, back down to Instinct. Instinct waiting for it, doesn't quite get anything. Gonna have to play for time here. Gonna try and get around one defender. Plays a little bit slow here. Trying to get the carry here. And just barely. Karma was waiting there, but with only 13 seconds left and still a 2-goal cushion here. It is a little bit in Boise State's favor, but they've got to stay on this gas pedal here. Make sure that this Wild Sheep, this Monterey team cannot come back whatsoever.
They need to win this next kickoff. Santino is able to start it off, but this possession by Boise State just to run out the timer is probably going to be enough. Takes a shot. Now just needs to ground it, and Boise State has secured their victory against Montre. You know, it doesn't matter at this point.
Give him a hat trick.
Give him a hat trick. He'll have it in the stats.
We're generous over here at Boise State.
Overall, not too much to complain about. Boise State winning that one 6-5 in the end, and overall in the series a 3-0 victory. Here's just one final look at all of the stats, and Boise State actually didn't have a lot of the side control. Monterey technically had more side control that game, but I think you really got to hand it to Instinct there. He was also the only one to break 60 miles per hour. He was flying across that track.
Oh, yeah, going real quick and always on that boost. Never ended.
Well, Boise State Esports is partnered with the Idaho Army National Guard, who brings you the top 5 plays of the game at the end of each match. Idaho Army National Guard invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. More than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. Idaho Army National Guard is one of the best teams to join out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuard Gaming. So nice start for Boise State in their CRL journey, now officially 1-0. There's a long way to go from here, but we'll take a win when we can get it. Now's also the time where we can nominate a player for the player of the game, and I have to give my strong vote to Instinct here.
Yeah, I think if you're looking purely at numbers and who put points on the board, I think Dirtho and Instinct are the people you're going to look at for putting numbers on the board there. But if you're going Instinct, I'll go Dirtho. We can't, out of 3, right? We have the odds for one of us to be right.
We should have the odds. I just got to say, I'd love for it to go over to Instinct this time, and I'll explain why. Will he get the nod? Well, we'll see. It looks like Dirtho then back over to Instinct.
This
I'm having to
Dirtho. I think it's a Dirtho goal.
It's a Dirtho.
Yeah.
Okay. Dirtho getting the player of the game. I'm sure that's just the start of a whole bunch that are coming for the rest of the season. But all the players really did a good job, and Instinct getting a hat trick. Not the most common thing that we see, because Dirtho and Gil are usually kind of the front offensive players. Instinct is kind of more of a supportive player, is either running interference or passing to them so they can make the play. So to see Instinct get his impressive 4 goals in that last game was great to see. Dirtho also picked up a hat trick here. Kudos to him. It's brought to you by Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like how Idaho Central helps its members achieve financial success. Dirtho is your player of the game. All righty, good start to CRL. Do you have any final thoughts to close things out, Colin?
15 more. All it's going to take is 15 more. And, the big hope is you'd love to keep, like we mentioned a lot before, we want to keep this number 3 spot. Having the ability to go to Worlds would be such a great opportunity for this team. And you just got to take it game by game, step by step. And at the end of the day, it'll be over before you know it. So you just got to play hard every other game.
1 down, 15 to go, but for the time being, Broncos at 1-0 for the CRL. We thank you for joining us for this CRL match, and we leave you with the top 5 plays of the game, brought to you again by the Idaho Army National Guard. Thank you for joining us for the CRL match, and enjoy your top 5 plays. Third goal. They move up the field, shot toward the goal by Gil, and finds it.
Gil getting a really good carry here, using all this momentum to stay with it. Really good pass of the sidewall to themselves. It just keeps it going all the way. 3-0 with 2 minutes left remaining here. Starting off really strong for the Broncos. Sidewall gets the pitch off the sidewall. Gil might have a shot. Does take it, putting it top left.
Instinct hat trick. Wow. Beautiful play by Instinct. He was the last line of defense for the Broncos. You can also see the Wild Sheep just really struggling in the goal. 2 members trying to elevate up. Oh,
not
man.
Quite there.
Shot back towards center. Gil takes the shot. Boise State gets an equalizer. 3-3 just when they desperately needed it.
Sort of really bad touch coming out there from San, and Gil makes this really good cut on the offensive side. Reading that
for the Broncos,
All right,
either way.
Even better for us, I would say, honestly. Oh, but a very unlucky 50-50 coming out from Instinct on that wall and trying to elevate, get a touch here. Ah, man, there's nothing you can do. You just got to chalk that up to bad luck. It is what it is, and just move on. It's only 1 goal.
Play didn't like the look of Dirtho's save. Dirtho's going to try to turn that into a clear. Instinct takes the shot back to Dirtho. Redirected to the goal. Boise State is 1 away.
Dirtho with a heads-up mentality there, sees this backfield, and so many players can just rotate out, but sticks around just a little bit longer for this half second. Gets the beautiful underside touch. Gets
discontinue, but I'm not lonely yet. I don't wanna talk about it anymore. Yeah, I'm drinking cause I'm bored, down by behind locked doors, yo. In my head, my head, my head. In my head, my head, my head. Get out of my head, get out of my, get out of my head, get out of my, get out of my head, get out of my, get out of my head.
Hello and welcome back to the Boise State Esports Arena. Tonight we are trying to get right into a super exciting Valorant match. We've got NACE, Boise State versus Kansas State, as you can see, denotated by the monitors on the wall. We're super excited. I'm your host, Colby D'Angelo Alloway, and joining me to call all of the action is Greg Old Soul Smith. So tonight, let's talk a little bit about agents and maps that we're expecting.
Yeah, okay, so we have recently just got the picks and bans all out. We're looking at some kind of an Icebox Haven Ascent, and we're not totally clear on the order of that, though, so we'll just have to dive right in and see what they've got running for us. But various agents that we may see on these, I mean, Ascent is a classic map that is just the map of maps, really, which is a reason that we like to run it. And on that, we can we get to just see what it is. Yeah, we're jumping into a 2v3 with 2 on the defense at Boise State. We get to see a little bit from their direction here.
Ooh, Boise State's on the back foot. Spicy. Okay, so the 2-3 split. What's your first thought with Eco right now?
With Eco? Yeah, a 2-3 split sounds totally good. I mean, it's totally up to what they've practiced and what they're comfortable with. You have some versatility on this map, which is a beautiful thing about it. There's, you know, lots of high angles, lots of low angles, lots of close action, and lots of distance shots as well. So they have a lot of options and opportunity here. It looks like we're first going to start taking some space on A side. And wow, a quick down. Sky's right off the map.
It looks like Kansas State is kind of approaching a 2-3 split right now. We've got, it looks like they're approaching on A.
Yeah, but all that utility that's just packed in on A. And look at this rotation is already ready. Kansas State's looking to respond here. Boise State doing well, making their ground J-Bag. Taking back P for that earlier kill on the Skies to the fair ground. Now this utility starting to pop up. They've kind of committed to the site here. They already have the recon dart going off, kind of forking their position. They've got to deal with it or deal with the people coming, and Panda's going to be the one to make that decision.
But then loses for it. I mean, nice trade by J-Bag. Boise State is still down 1, but 3v2. Ooh, now 2v2, taking out the Jet. That's massive.
Remaining.
And then J-Bag's gonna, wow! A quad kill for J-Bag. We're looking for the last member of Kansas State to kind of walk in and maybe complete this kill reel for him.
Yeah, J-Bag doing well to really anchor, moving in just as far as he needs to, and then sitting there. Only 17 health left, but
corner. Yeah,
he doesn't have to push. He's just got to wait for him. And bam! Oh, a beautiful ace. First round for us, at least. A good thing to dive in for. Ooh, J-Bag just loaded with creds now.
I want to particularly highlight the crosshair placement. J-Bag's like, yep, I'm in the corner. My crosshair's at head level. I know it's at head level. I know this man is going to be peeking from this side, so I'm just on it the second that he peeks.
Yeah, he had a protractor and compass up to the monitor back there. That's just lots of practice, knowing exactly what that little staircase is going to do to your crosshair placement, but he's ready. Always know where head level is, and that's how it pays off. Quick little ace. Starting to see a very light buy from the enemy team here at Kansas State University. A little sidearm out, maybe some Marshall looking to force up some gear here. Playing pretty forward. Number 5, Peeve, again, looking to get some of that action. They had that first blood last round. Looking to get the pop on Skies again. An unfortunate mismatch for Skies. Oh, the revenge is brewing, and J-Bag to take Peeve down. Again, it seems so familiar. Pandy coming around to take Daimyo and Rariana with 2 on the assist. Finds the Omen. Down to a 3-3, and they're on site. It's looking very familiar. Can J-Bag anchor this placement again?
Oh, he's waiting for him to walk through that smoke. You do see a little bit of speed utility used there. The flash almost comes out. You see those kind of nanos chipping away at some HP there. They know Panda and Pedro are there, but J-Bag loses the 2v1.
Last player standing.
Oh, and Panda's on their triple kill here, but it's the last remaining member. Or, no, excuse me. Boise State is still 1v2. It looks like PPR is going to get the final elimination onto Rihanna, and it looks like the defenders are going to take that with the spike defuse.
Yeah, tough situation there where the two were able to get around and play together to drop that Killjoy right there on the defensive side and just took out J-Bag. And then Rariana can't hold that on his own, decides instead to back up. There's just not enough space to do that with 3 seconds, and then is totally cornered off all by himself. I mean, taking that side alone is very difficult, so they just squat right on top of the spike and take the round.
I do have to say that Rihanna at least got one after backing off a point, which is definitely going to help Boise State a little bit here as we kind of move forward.
No, he's definitely worth his gun, and every kill counts when you are down.
So what do you think of the agents that are not mirrored right now? So we have the Sova instead of... What do you think of the Sova pick for Boise State?
The Sova pick for Boise State, I think, is just classic. Makes me happy always to see it. Wow, look at this walk by. Ooh, they turn right around and find him. People are looking to back that up, and they sure do. Panda a little bit overextended there, really falls for it, but PPR anchors down behind. After a couple of trades, we're looking at a 3v2. They've already made it to the mud. Rariana looking to hold this position. Utilities coming in.
So we're in post plant. Boise State is currently defending the point right now. It looks like Rihanna's going to do a fantastic job at taking Peeve out, but unfortunately after they take out Daimyo, it looks like now it comes up to Kansas State's Omen to try to see if they can get the res off, but Boise State is hopefully going to be able to either insta-kill. Gets the clutch after immediately killing the res that comes out.
Doesn't stop in the lab.
Yeah, interesting you talked about the character builds that we have here. This Sova versus Fade is really the only thing that separates us from a total mirror comp, but I wouldn't expect anything other than that Sova. If they were to only take one character to this map, it'd have to be that Sova. I mean, having a Sova just get one of the machine guns through the wall here, all of the dart shots are already known, they've already been figured out, they've been practiced. I mean, just like having that good crosshair placement, when you're comfortable with something, that extra comfort is worth extra power.
Rihanna and the Killjoy too, an amazing comfort pick, and Killjoy is just also amazing for this map and locking down any sort of objective here. So we see, we're kind of watching Skies on the approach here. So far, people haven't really found each other out just yet. It looks like Boise State is setting up for an A push. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it just yet. Pushing through the smoke very carefully, but they have to be aware that there's somebody. You gotta check your corners. Rihanna does exactly that, taking out Peeve, and Skies is gonna take out Pedro, leaving Boise State up 2.
Just streamlining straight into the site. Boise State looking good.
One
They've
enemy
not
remaining.
been shut down brutally for a push yet. Most of the action happens on the site.
Poor PPR. He's got a pistol in a corner.
Oh, it's a rough one. He's just holding down the fort back here, and they're come marching in. He does get one. A trade that Boise State's willing to take. Unfortunately, so close to a flawless, but they're up 3-6. Nothing to complain about.
A worthy strike with the pistol in the corner. A cornered beast will fight, it appears. What do we think about the buys coming out from both teams?
Yeah, they look good, and I mean, it's good to have this versatility in the buy. You never want to see everybody have the same gun, or at least I don't. And Pedro finally giving up some of that armor to get this ult, or sorry, this op out is going to be a beautiful thing to see. We have some Phantoms and some Vandals on the side of Boise State as well, which again is just recognizing when one is more appropriate than the other, or maybe just, you know, a little revenge grudge they have against either gun. Wow, a big push coming out here. You see a fast rotate respecting this huge march from Boise State. It's not a total commit though, so we still have one person left on the B site. And as an ult's committed, we start to see that rotation come around. J-Bag taking one down before going to Peeve. People are just dropping left and right. So much vision denial up on the loft, this heaven here.
Looks like as we switch over to Daimyo's perspective, they're just kind of holding that angle, and then Aldim is on the underground here, waiting for them to drop, ideally to point, as we are in post plant right now. No, he's going to go aggressive, take out that Killjoy. And it looks like he knows that Peeve is there, just waiting for them to go through the smoke. Crosshairs at head level.
Yeah, no reason to let the enemy see when you know where they are. Just play through the wall there. Aldim, after getting the plant in hell, finds another one or two up top. Good play there.
This is a fantastic replay.
really
All of them definitely took a risk going in there and going that aggressively, but I mean, they can't see through the smoke either. They don't know somebody's going to be immediately right there, and then fell back.
And
Safe.
it definitely has to be part of the playbook now that we've seen it 3 different times. I mean, they pop up and it feels a little over-aggressive, it feels a little overextended, but really they're just taking the space that they can. And the beauty of this map is there's not a lot of wasted space on it. I mean, we've seen a confrontation on almost every corner or alley, whether that's straight up mid, in the garage, along tree. Having space on this map is critical. So it can be a technical map. And being able to move up there and it feels over-aggressive, just like this, charging right in and taking space they don't even intend on using. They've gotten an A split B going on here. And Skies just walked all the way through the site.
Smoked off both of them there. You saw the Omen and the Jet Smoke come out. It looks like Arya is going to kind of get a little bit of a revenge kill on J-Bag there. But Boise State still pretty comfortably up 1.
Kansas State Spade, oh, just trapped here. Gotten actually down so fast. I mean, 3 people around them. They're just looking for a kill there, and it doesn't happen. Daimyo trolling in the quad. Love to see it. And Rariana with the 3K to smoothen out the score to a nice 8-3 for the last round of the half.
All right, so Kansas State is in a dangerous position as we switch over to the half here. Not only are they down rounds, Boise State has been winning these with routinely 3+ members surviving. So they're also down quite a bit in that way, too.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of little things that we could nitpick at, but that's only the first half, right? We never know what could turn around when we get to the other side. And now, Valorant is typically a defense-sided map, every map, really. So it's always hard to say, oh, once they get to the attacking side, they'll be doing so much better. But you never know. Skies to take down Pandy as a first blood and a quick one at that. And Boise State looking just full of ults, and we know this is their last chance to use it. They're feeling hot, go flying in, and Skies wiped off the board. So with J-Bag, what is his turnaround? Hopefully that's been a rude sobering as they get the attacker Killjoy down. They're looking to play in a little bit close after it. You want to wait until it goes off to guarantee that people are out of that space. That is a corner they have to be careful of, and we know Rariana is laser locking that PPR's corner there.
Spike down A.
Very spatially aware of the limits that Killjoy ult has. They've taken the space well, and Daimyo looking for a little flank. A little Fianchetto action, unfortunately shut down by Stevie, and now Rariana has to hold his own, can't quite find it. And is this a comeback? 1 point for Kansas State. It's definitely always good for morale to take one on the other half before going into a big switch, right? You kind of have that momentum that is the only thing that you carry from half to half, right? You don't get any of your guns back, you don't need your creds. It's nice to land it on a win for Kansas State.
It's nice to kind of get the mental game realigned, right? Like you can't lose the mental game before the end of the half, right? And so especially taking that round, they're feeling pretty good. And Boise State, I mean, Boise State is still up, so they're not losing the mental game either. This is kind of just a full reset. This is still anybody's game.
This positioning here, it looks like Boise State doesn't know they've swapped. They're playing right up at the gates, ready to attack, and this could be a gamble that plays into their favor. I mean, look at that. The whole team is just waiting there. Is Kansas State going to play quiet and accept this blow?
Okay, but Boise State is a famously aggressive team, especially in Valorant. I think they know what they're doing, and I think this is something that has been rehearsed. As we see the smoke come out, Boise State knows what signs they want to block as they're on that approach there. Now you see Skies and J-Bag playing a little bit more slow, methodical, kind of waiting once they found the enemy.
Yeah, they definitely jumped in trying to get a quick cheap shot. The flash got off. We saw them just scatter in the courtyard there, but they weren't able to find the shot. So they backed up. They play respectable. They're holding A, and it looks like Kansas State is looking to streamline right down mid, holding the spike in the middle of the pocket, actually diverting it. A dangerous situation as Rariana has first dibs to that contact. Now they're aware it's a pinch situation and people are on site. Rariana, running past another pack with a knife, absolutely blinded. It's not looking good. That's 3 separate contacts this man has had to get through. Yeah, just barely escaping the first 2. Kansas State now owns the site, and Boise State will have to play into the mud here. All of them caught early by Peeve, who's just taking up that space and is now going to reposition to watch Boise State's number 8 KO come in from the gates. Can't quite hold it. And at this point, this numbers advantage just doesn't look good, and Skies just has to back up, firing some Hail Mary shots, but instead he loses that beautiful Sheriff to Pandy.
So Boise State went with the cheap shot, didn't get immediate value, and then at that point, Kansas State was able to kind of maneuver through Boise State without losing anybody, and then Boise State wasn't able to take the point back in the post play.
Out of charges.
Kansas State now looking for a big B push. After that A attempt, just quickly switched, like you said, to running down the center after a strange contact with an over-aggressive A site, which we love to see. And still playing very forward. Boise State looking to hold this main area. Just firing those shots out.
Win the high ground battle. It looks like as we get on to point B, the remaining 3 members of Kansas State are looking for a way in. Pedro's going to take down Daimyo. And now at this point, they're all on B, and now it is up to Boise State to kind of find a safe way to approach. We see the Omen smoke. That should surely help Boise State kind of get in here a little bit. As that smoke dissipates, Skies is left without any cover.
Now they're looking to coordinate this pinch here, but a good angle catches Skies off guard. Now Pedro, the last thing that J-Back has to deal with, but he gets dealt with himself. Now Alden low health, the last one alive, just looking for something. A Bulldog and 8 health. Just a dream in his eyes. He can't quite hold it. Pedro finding his 3rd kill for the round, bringing it to a 6-8. And yeah, this momentum, it's definitely feeling like it's there. Kansas State looking for, this is their 3rd round in a row, taking both of the openings, as well as the last round of the last half. So Boise State would love to see this turn around. Boise State still is playing pretty forward and looking for those first bloods, maybe trying to be surprising. And if they feel like that's not doing well for them, we could definitely see the coach or the in-game lead call some kind of a pacing change. Otherwise, they just kind of have to trust in that confidence and continue to take space as fast as they can. It looks like they've got that typical smoke out, which Kansas State knows now they've got to be careful of. This same shape that we saw earlier with the stilling knife from KO at the same time.
It looks like Kansas State is doing almost a full 5 push on A. No, we see the Killjoy kind of go back and see what else they can do. But that is 4 members hard committing to A. And Ririana is just holding this angle. Like, knows somebody's going to come through there at some point, but so far neither team has found each other.
Yeah, Ririana with a jiggle peek ready to make first contact onto a pushing Pedro, but the smoke goes down. I mean, Boise State's ready to just play for time. And it's a big push. The flags go down. Rariana is being absolutely attacked here, turns tail, tries to get out. Skies plays forward and finds one.
Ooh.
Coming back to assist his team as they're scared right off the site. They have to regroup. They got to wait for these rotations to come in from B so they can play together here. Jett looking to just peek around, make sure they've counted all the players here. You don't want any flanks coming through.
5-on-3 is looking pretty good, though, as Boise State approaches A site. Aldem's going to take down Arya. That just puts the numbers more in Boise State's advantage, and at this point, Kansas State just gets easy wiped off the point. I loved that Boise State approach, right? They got off the point because they knew there was a 5-stack there, and Ririana's like, I need help. Skies was able to take one down in the rotation, and then from there, Boise State waited very patiently. It was an amazing exercise in patience as they just waited for all 5 members to rotate from B before just hard aggro going in, wiping out Kansas State.
Yeah, I really like that analysis. Like you said, it's a good exercise in respecting space and recognizing numbers as well as just patience. Like, you have the entire clock. They really all did move off, got that rotation coming together before they came full force, just like the attacking side did to take it in the first place. They took it back, and that is a point for Boise State. A 9-6, looking a little favorable, looking a little sweeter on the teeth. Kansas State now coming strong on Terrariana, but never strong enough. A stinger, all he needs, takes one down.
Be faster.
Ooh, and then Panda's going to win the battle of the high grounds.
Yeah, Sky is taking one in mid, and that's enough. Doesn't get greedy, moves back to his post. They've had a clean 2 off the start, and they don't know where Kansas State is. No reason to change. They're going to hold their area. Let Kansas just think about it. They've got 90 seconds to do so.
And it looks like Boise State is covering lots of different angles. I mean, you see the members completely spread out. You see, it looks like Skies on the Jett going very aggressive. Finds out the Arya, takes them down. That's another member up for Boise State. And at this point is 5v2, and so the hunt begins.
Skies, they try to play onto him, but he's not having it. A beautiful pinch onto the man in trees. And Skies with the 4K to find a beautiful flawless. If it weren't for that early contact, I believe, under Rariana here at the start, Yeah, look at that cheeky little peek. Just seeing who's on the mud pays for it. Unfortunately, that's the one to take the ace from Skies. Good team can just play good.
The big thing about taking the Jet out immediately is the Jet is usually how you take that space, right? So having your Jet get the cheeky peek and then Rihanna just find him out, shut him down, that's a lot of, you lose a lot of aggro potential there.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting how even though they have 2 initiators, that Jet really is a spearhead. It really is important to have the forefront. Ooh, a little bit of teasing onto J-Bag doesn't pay off well. They try to read it. Oh, and it's not enough. It was to be a 1-2 bait, which could have been a beautiful 2-piece bait and switch, but Pedro couldn't quite hold it in, and Sky's looking beautiful on another angle. Just scare them all back. Look at that. All 3 just sharing an icon. Sorry, 2 players left. Making their way around. The spike is still never dropped. So Boise State does have to respect both sites as an option for Kansas State's plant, but they've only got 60 seconds to make it to it. So I'm sure now they're starting to feel like it may not be an A and start to get that rotation over. As 2 from Kansas State slowly make it up garage, just checking all the corners. It's important they don't mess this up. They have a good shot. A 2-on-3 can be defended with the players they've got. Oh, but that
Boise State starting to rotate.
That Killjoy utility gives it all away, and they start to charge right in. Ariana with a great angle to pull from the back there and starts just hitting the defaults.
Daimyo pushing in as well as Skies on the Jet kind of coming in. This is all 3 members of Boise State looking to push Kansas State off the point, and it's 1v3 at this point. You just got to shut down the robot.
And there it is. Another great round by Boise State, bringing it to a 6-10. It's feeling good. The momentum is back, and momentum with respect to the actual score standing, right? I mean, Boise State may only have like 2 or 3 rounds in a row now, but they're very close to the end here.
The end of round 1, and I mean, there's definitely the possibility for Kansas State to take it back in further rounds. It looks like both teams are pretty well set, with the exception of Aldim, who's still on a pistol.
That is true. This is not the only map of the night. We've got a lot left to discover tonight. Kansas State, though, they just have less mistakes that they can afford to make. So they can't play these big all-or-nothing plays anymore because Boise State only needs a couple more. Skies, though, knows that he can. Goes flying in and takes some favorable trades as he brings it down to a 4v3. Daimyo looking to anchor this site, finds 1 and then 2 headshots in a row with a spike falling right outside the smoke. Pete low on options, just tries to grab it, but the angles are in our favor, and Rariana finds another one. What a shutdown. And 2 people just totally cleared the site.
I really love how Boise State held that angle there. They were like, I don't care how many people come out, they're walking in a straight line, my crosshairs at head level, I'm gonna take them out. And then Pete kind of waited for a second. They were like, all right, I'm gonna wait for him to think everybody's gone, and then I'm gonna sneak out, get him. But unfortunately, there was a cross angle there that Pete fell victim to. Though it was a valiant attempt by Kansas State.
Yeah, a Valorant attempt. But Daimyo was unshaking there in his angle and held it. Got to play whack-a-mole with people running back and forth. Start to see Kansas State on this last reach for the win. Wow! What a push. J-Bag finding 1 with the op very quick. And immediately that space just needs to be respected. You should not be playing mid after a crush like that. Skies playing fast and loose with the knives here. Finds another one, a 3K. We're only a few seconds into the round. PPR being closed in on, does find one, but just can't shut down the ult. Fires for the ult on Skies. And that's a GG for first map.
That is round 1 for Boise State. What's your biggest takeaway?
I really liked the respective space that we had going on here, and I'd love to see how that translates to a map with different space.
Boise State was, Boise State is like on the gas pedal immediately, but they're also fully prepared to like hard stop, make a break. And then we kind of see this play, we see a little bit of peeking around the high ground, love the knife play. And I think the biggest thing with knife play is crosshair placement, right? Because you can't afford to hit body shots when you pull those jet knives out, right? So we see the first elimination, the second elimination, culminating in a triple kill for Skies there.
Yeah, and they just kept playing right into Skies. They didn't try to evacuate out of there, or one person did, and it didn't work very well. So Great play there, and I think I see a big theme of anchors as well. People will sit down and they know where their place is and they know where their spot is, and that's just about like respecting teamwork. And like you said, if Daimyo could hold his position well enough, then as I believe it was Pedro tries to play back and forth. And yeah, this great play here as Pedro jumps up and tries to get an early peek in. Looks like production thought that was particularly good.
Pedro's like, hey, what's happening? Rihanna's like, not you, and snipes him from the sky.
Yeah, totally shut down. Good paying attention from the very get-go, because you never know what free kills might be standing around the corner.
Oh, definitely. And Pedro was kind of looking for some free kills there, but Rihanna is a better player than that.
Took his. Well, yeah, that wraps up the first map.
So remind me again, what were the potential maps that we'd be seeing tonight?
Potential maps, we could also be seeing Icebox and Haven. Haven's actually my favorite, and I feel like it's a good inspiration to Lotus, so I'd love to see some Lotus play in the future, but that's up to the players and what they're ready to rehearse. Haven features its famous 3 sites and has been around for a long time, what with it being one of the original 3 maps, so we're very comfortable there, and they play a great roster there. Iceberg's space feel is very different, though, on the other hand, where it's very open. We have a lot more cutting up the territory to deal with, which makes totally different picks necessary.
Okay, so then tell me about those picks.
Yeah, I mean, Viper is critical because there's a
long
massive wall
sightlines.
was able to shut things down.
And we're going to be going to break before we get into the next match.
You take really strong players from disparate communities and you put them together on teams with expert coaching.
So you mean to tell me about all the hands in the room, everybody in here is that top 2%?
It's ultimate, it's a 1v1, and Prestige does it!
It's not every day that you're a kid like me and you get to have this experience.
It's something, it gets fun.
This boot camp is really about finding out every weakness.
There's no such thing as a big mistake at this level.
I have people in the crowd there cheering my name on. I have to give them a show.
That feeling of just being up on stage and having a whole crowd of people, it's unbeatable.
1v1, but... Oh, why would you pick him?
I love this. I want to do this every day.
You didn't make a choice, so you were just looking at things.
If you want to go pro, sometimes you have to make sacrifices.
Jump up and down, you're a crowd, you're casters. It's a transformational experience.
That was a light switch, and now I see what it's all about.
A lot of players here right now are caught up in winning their tournaments 5-10 years down the road. They're not going to remember who won.
Growing up in Idaho, we have certain rules we live by. First rule, camouflage never goes out of style. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
It's the end of a good day's work in Idaho. Time to punch out. Time to check in and catch up. Time to remind ourselves that what we work for isn't a paycheck. It's to make the good things we have even better. So here's to your good day's work. Idaho Central Credit Union. We believe money is a thing. It's not everything.
Hello and welcome back into the Boise State Esports Arena. This is still NACE, Boise State versus Kansas State. Boise State feeling pretty good after taking first round from Kansas State through amazing use of respecting space. That was the big thing that we wanted to highlight, but we've still got 2 more maps in it tonight. And Kansas State could easily pull off the reverse sweep. I mean, we definitely saw some impressive individual play from them as well as impressive teamwork. But in the end, Boise State ended up taking round 1. So we'll see how that goes. I'm your host for all of that, Colby D'Angelo Alloway, and joining me to call all of the action is Greg Old Soul Smith. So we talked a little bit about agents and about maps. Do you want to kind of reiterate what we talked about before break?
I definitely could. We are expecting to see 3 maps tonight if we go to a 3-map game. We've already seen a win on Ascent by Boise State, though we definitely saw some pushback from Kansas State University's play. They even wrapped up a couple. As the game overall, just to remind you what a NACE Collegiate Valorant usually looks like, it's a 5v5 typical Valorant on a best of 3 maps. First to 13 for each map, and they switch after 12 rounds. So,
and with that round swap, we actually saw a significant difference in play and who's winning rounds and things like that. Because, I mean, at the round swap, Boise State and Kansas State were pretty even, and then Boise State swapped, and Boise State really struggled to find their footing in the beginning, but towards the end, they just kept winning round after round after round.
They did, yeah, and that momentum is always an important part of the gameplay. We got a quick peek at the agents we're going to be queuing this time. And, I mean, we talked about the difference between the defensive and offensive side on the map. This Haven having that 3 sites, along with just almost every other Valorant map, is very defense-sided, and there's a couple ways to deal with that or try to make that your ally. Obviously, we are on the defensive side. Daimyo has queued the breach. We can play through these walls. Just look at that map. It is such a maze of little walls, as there's a way to get from every site to a different site, and several ways to rotate. So it can be a very fast-paced map, and it's nice to be able to play through those walls.
So it looks like we've got an almost mirror comp again, but a couple of the differences, I mean, of course, the breach is a mainstay on both of the sides, but Reyna is something that I did not expect to see. What do you think Kansas State is hoping to get from her?
I think just more power. I mean, having the Reyna instead of the Jet just means that it's a, ooh, yeah, speaking of power, look at this pacing. Sky's looking to charge straight in. Takes space immediately, just totally disrespect this smoke here and look for something, but he's kind of cornered up. Has to get the backup in with him. Does totally check that corner, but still takes one for it. An omen for a Jet, though, but they're already almost on site. Kansas really takes that space, kind of blocking Boise State out. J-Bag making a couple of good shots, one dink to Peeve.
And it looks like Ribriano is also very weak, kind of falling back with regrouping with the Omen. A possible rotation all the way to C. You see that Reyna for Kansas State hunting them down. They're holding the sights on B, kind of expecting rotation there. They don't see anything just yet, so now they're rotating C.
And that's one of the nice things about the Jet or the Reyna on these maps is that they're very high-paced. I mean, so is the Neon. They're just so rotatable, so easy to get from one site to another, which is really important in situations like this. What a shot, J-Bag, straight to the face. Unfortunately, goes down Rariana, the last one alive, and he's a ways away trying to shut down a defuse. So they're going to clear out this area just a bit before they can charge in. Setting 2 people right on top. He's got to pace it just right, take care of Pandy, but it can't be there. And Pandy finds Rariana for round 1 on a defuse from Peeve. Yeah, so Kansas State has just decided really to go with this double duelist comp, which can feel a little bit faster paced. It can feel a little bit more aggressive. It can feel a little bit more attacking. And maybe that's because they felt a better attacking round last map and are looking to really augment that in their playstyle here. It could just be that they don't think the Killjoy is as important as Boise State does, which I always agree with. We're playing on a map where hallways are small and, you know, plentiful. So I like seeing this Breach who plays through those walls, and the KJ has these AoE attacks like the ult, which just makes a big spot on the map, and that takes away a lot of space. Skies to get a fast one on a Peeve with that eco buy, looking to run it right into the zone. Oh, just 2 sitting there, but he can't quite hold it. Arai's gonna find him. Daimyo and J-Bag come back for revenge, and it's a 4v2. only losing one person, that Spearhead, who opened the site for them. They're looking good. Having to play against PPR now, but that wall is thin. It is only good for blocking eyesight. So they're going to play right through it, and J-Bag finds Pedro. PPR is still a little bit pulled up in the nest.
At this point, it's just see how many people you can take down. J-Bag at half HP, it's a possibility, but it's not going to end up happening. And this is J-Bag that closes us out with a triple kill.
Sure does. What a good find and hold. Boise State running right in. Really had to fight that last round, but this one they're feeling much better. They really used Jet to go in and feel things out, and then it made an easy move in for Daimyo and J-Bag. They knew exactly where to look. It was already pinged on the map. They probably didn't even have to say anything, and just came charging up through that smoke.
And it looks like Boise State is kind of split between B and C right now, and it looks like that is the main place that Kansas State is defending. There is absolutely nobody on A. We see Skies use the jet leap, kind of go in there. It looks like Aldim's further back. Skies is gonna get punished for going in super aggressively.
Yeah, Aldim does a great bait for this shot here. Now Pedro under fire. They know exactly where he's at. Pedro does turn fast enough to find Daimyo. Meanwhile, in another neck of the woods, Rariana finds one on the grass as Pandy looks to get a cheeky rotate. Not quite going to be there. Love to have that floating person, and it is so nice to have the Sentinel on it. Unfortunately, J-Bag just goes down in a 2v1 TPR. That's how it is now, a 2v2 as Rariana, again, that floating position looking so powerful. And here, they're able to accept this rotate and start helping. The heal comes out, and we start to see this kind of synergy, this teamwork, as they start to move to C site. Kansas State looking to do the same thing as they have two people rotating around.
An encounter is looking pretty imminent as both of these pairs kind of run around this corner here. I think this corner is going to... Oh, they avoid it and just go straight to C.
Yeah,
so now we're kind of entering the post plant here, but Aldim needs to be careful because they don't know they're coming back from that back corner there. Now we're entering post plant. Boise State on the defensive. Aldim's going to take out one. This is now 2v1 against the Jets. Still very dangerous. But because they have the point, they can make Jet come to them.
Yeah, look at that health difference. Sky not feeling fantastic, but Rariana's got a beautiful angle on the Pedro. Pedro's never even see it coming. Right in the ear and leaving both alive. Rariana for the 4th kill of the night, of the round, sorry. Brings him to a 1v2. And what a good team rotation there. Just set the utility down correctly as they migrated down to this site. Were able to get off of it. They knew when to play together and when to split up. So they were able to watch certain corners as they were rotating and then pinch the final attacker.
And it looks like as we go into the next phase here, Boise State is at a 1-round advantage, 2-1. It looks like they're kind of setting up. Neither team has really found each other yet. Boise State kind of all grouped between A, B, and C. I mean, we see Ririana kind of investigating C, committing some utility there, but it looks like with the Sky's healing come out, it looks like removed. Oh, Ririana's going to find Pandy. And it looks like that Jet is rotating off of point C, kind of seeing who they can find.
Yeah, it's a spike and pocket play, so a little bit warmer, a little bit slower, a little bit softer feeling. But Rariana just totally shut down that attempt. Ooh, Peeve does find one before Daimyo goes. That's a little bit of info, too, so we start to see that rotation from Kansas State.
You can kind of see that the Jet is rotating accordingly. You see they're going the long way, all the way, presumably to point A, where the rest of their team is just kind of getting decimated. So this is a solo Jet, now just playing keep away.
Yeah, keep away indeed. Looking to move slowly in and find something. Pedro is walking into quite a thicket. Oh, doesn't totally check that corner. Gotta know how long a muzzle is. And totally gets shot by Daimyo.
Great job for Boise State, going up to 3 against 1. So what are you kind of expecting from this next round?
Yeah, from this next round, just hold it in. Boise State's looking to really maintain this momentum as best they can. Kansas State, though, I mean, the credits are in a bit of a shakeup, and they've got to respond accordingly with the way they buy. Look at that. Looks like they're going to go for some Sheris, for some, Pedro on that long range, just hurting to get that op in his hands. He wants to feel it. Pedro, we saw comfortable shooting that op earlier. Yeah, a couple of Sheriffs out Skies under some early attack here. And he's off on alone.
Oh, maybe doesn't know that Pedro has the op there, just kind of waiting on that C-long sight line. Ooh, I mean, you got to think that as soon as Pedro
the Marshall
whips
shot.
the first shot.
But he's okay. Skies is ready to fight this. He's not worried about that extra angle, and he's got someone in helping him. It's a quick drop, and they own a site they didn't even want. All the heat was on A before Skies found this. That's what's so nice about this map and about being able to play split comps here, about being able to place 2 threes on the attacking side. Now Kansas State kind of caught in the middle, has to play their way across. A Riot as well with that, finding one. Are they ready for the next? Oh, wow, playing in the middle of that flash, just off intuition, smells out the shot, and Peep with another one, turns right around for one more. What a turnaround. Kansas State with one on the board, looking to play against this Omen.
And Omen left the site completely. They thought they had it locked down, and it turns out they didn't as Peeve approaches, and Omen has no real way in here. Kind of like looking through to see if they can...
Yeah, Omen playing from a very safe distance. Oh, but what contact. He's got to play in Peep. He's got lots of time to do it, just has to do this correctly.
No!
And Peep calls him on the timing and finds a final bullet to the knee to clutch a second round. And look at that, just hanging on by several fingernails with 6 health on the initiator.
Okay, so Boise State had an excellent approach there. Their first were looking like they were going to go A, but then Skies found a couple of eliminations on C, and then Boise State demonstrated a great rotation because they actually didn't lose anybody in rotation and took out several members of Kansas State. Kansas State, however, I think played the post plant better. They waited until they kind of had the opportunity there. They waited for Boise State to kind of leave C and come to them. And once Boise State left C, the remaining members of Kansas State collapsed.
Jumping right into this one, Boise State is no longer feeling around for where they want to go. It is a spike in pocket, so they can always change their mind, but it was a big feel onto A to make sure nothing aggressive was going to happen. Now they start to spread back out again, and it feels like they're in the window, just like testing all the fruit, seeing where they want to go. They have lots of options here, and they decide to go with B and a B plan. It's a little bit different. It feels a little bit different. They've got to be careful about both these angles, so they actually smoke one and they run right out. Peep to find one and Daimyo to respond, but so much pressure coming from this backside. It looks like they're going to rotate out. They don't hold B. They've rotated again to C. They've almost seen every site this round. All of them getting in that plan. PPR to find Daimyo, though. The numbers are not looking fantastic with 2 ults out on Kansas State moving in, and that ult was enough to find Pandy another 2 kills. Feeling great with it, overhealed, I'm sure. They charge onto site and go straight for the defuse.
Rariana's got the angle, though, I think. So we'll see what there's one.
Rariana definitely has a chance to make some serious damage here and kills the diffuser.
Not quite
Unfortunately, goes down, yeah.
But honestly, 2 eliminations when the rounds are so close like this and the eco is so far from resetting, that's a big deal. If you know you're going to lose the round, just do as much damage as you possibly can.
They do now, and looking at a 3-3, that economy is starting to settle a little bit more. Kansas State is no longer in that reaching position that they used to be, but Boise State, after that big buy, I mean, look, Ion Phantoms, they're not cheap. So they're going to be looking a little bit harsher here on the credits. Let's go ahead and see that buy menu. Boise State, again, playing with the spike on the floor. They like to do this, but is it working for them? Is that something that they need to consider?
Looks like they're we definitely see some aggressive Sky play right now, kind of scouting things out, trying to get some information. It looks like they're going to scout out almost the entirety of point C there, kind of realize nobody's there. And you see the remaining members of Boise State just completely rotate to C, whereas Kansas State is split on B and A. And it actually looks like Kansas State is starting to rotate too.
Yeah, and what a great call, though. Kansas State looks like they're considering a forward rotation, maybe sending that Jet out to just wander. No chance from PPR, playing a little bit too aggressive. Nobody by his back to catch this swing on contact there. So that's just a free piece for Boise State. Going to start dropping that ult to try to really secure this momentum change. Really try to secure these creds. I mean, these Vandals and Phantoms every round. That can only last so long with a spike down. Skies shuts down a swing by playing so far off of the contact, so far off of the spike that they weren't ready for it. Rariana, oh, nose to the wall, ready for a surprise. Got surprised himself, and he finds 2. Still, this is so beautifully salvageable by either side. I mean, they're so close to the spike, and the spike is so close to going off. Skies and Daimyo each with a 1, bringing it to a 3-4, and Boise State stays on top.
So I really like that Boise State got to point and then Killjoy ulted. That Killjoy definitely gave Boise State the time and space that they needed. It was after the Killjoy ult that things kind of started to fall apart because individual members of Boise State were kind of like leaving, and you see Killjoy herself just caught off guard there, and the remaining members of Boise State were kind of picked off one by one. Though, because the spike was so close to detonating, because of the space that Killjoy ult gave them, Boise State ended up... It wasn't a clean victory, but a victory is a victory, taking Boise State up 140.
Right. We'll say it. A win is a win.
A win is a win.
A win is a win. I feel like they were trying to just take extra space beyond that KJ and pick these individual battles, but you have to respect that gunplay. Wow, J-Bag getting the jump on one. And that's just good angle advantage understanding. Walk slow when you're further from the angle. You see their knees before they even know you're there. He was able to take the defender and then walked away with the man ulting. So that was, oh, whoa, PPR playing through the walls here. A big play right there. Yeah, that's an upsetting one. Boise State now playing 3v3. Kansas State does have one slowing down here. Pandy's going to drop to Skies. Rariana finds another one. Skies simultaneously. They wrap the round in a beautiful gift basket. Boise State looking at 5 points. Staring these 3 from Kansas in this space.
All right, call back to one of Doc's keys to the game, focus angles and flank. They never know where Rihanna, like that Jet is never prepared for Rihanna to just come from behind him, come to the side, get the flank. Wherever it is that the Jet's attention is, Rihanna is the opposite place, ready to get that elimination.
Yeah, which is it's so nice to have a KJ or a chamber that's ready to do that, and to have that Sentinel. Sentinel has kind of become synonymous with flank, and it's turned into this position where you're always going to be playing loose and you're always going to be playing around that straggler that just kind of catches and snips up the odds and ends. And Rariana does great at that. Just anyone who's turned their back to an open doorway, he's on and in behind. Kansas State playing very forward on the A position. But speaking of forward, look who is flying through the hallways here. Panda with a stuck W key runs right into Daimyo. I mean, look, that blue X is nowhere near the team. Looking for a cheese play and gets shut down. Boise State is going to have a casual plan. Aldum can't quite hit those long shots. Looks for another one, but that's, I believe, contact with 2 players, so they know that's there. They've got to respect that. Daimyo takes an easy one. Another just angle advantage understanding, and he's going to play forward. Oh, tries to catch one off guard, but Ariado with a sit-down catches him on a crouch.
And it looks like C is where Boise State is kind of anchoring down, looking what they're seeing, what they're trying to do here, and Boise State is going to end up taking that 6-3. Now we are currently double Kansas State right now, and Kansas State can't afford to lose this. This is the best of 3, and Boise State's already up 1.
No, that's very true. Like, if they want to see their third and favorite Icebox map, they've got to really play up here. It feels like a lot of times when Boise State tries to play aggressive on these 1v1s and catch someone off guard, it's down to a coin flip who takes it. Yeah. I mean, these Kansas State players, they have quick reflexes and their gunplay is good, and they know when to crouch and when they shouldn't spray and spray. So Boise State playing together has been, I think, the most impactful and most impressive style of play that we've seen from them. But yeah, a win is a win. Again, they're taking it, and we can't complain. Diving right in, look at that utility.
Takes the high ground, both smokes committed. That's a lot of Jet utility for Skies to get up on that high ground. Drops, goes through the Omen smoke. We see J-Bag taking down Pandy. It looks like Aldim's just holding this doorway angle, and Skies says, I'll just walk right through. Doesn't actually find anything right now. It looks like C-Site is where this big engagement is going to happen, as both teams are fully stacked there, with the exception of Aldim's, who's off on an adventure.
Yeah, which is strange. Like you said, I mean, Sky just had to dump their entire kit just to get on top of that box safely, and ends up just going down and running away. You have to be ready to quick just change on a dime here, which we might see again, as neither Boise State is on site, but Kansas State is ready to defuse this. Aldum to play. Oh no, that flash did not go off long enough for Rihanna.
Get him, Rihanna.
Has his back and finds Pedro. No defuse for you, and it is a 7v3.
And I gotta say, Rihanna, again, like if there's a player to bet on to clutch in those moments, I do think it would be Rihanna, especially on the Killjoy. Though it cannot be understated the amount of impact that Aldim had on that, because they took out PPR, they got the blind. I mean, they still got shot through the blind, but they got that out there and at least caused Pedro to turn so that Rihanna, once again, could be right where that Jet doesn't expect.
Yeah, you can't have the switch without the bait. The only way Rihanna can make a shot like that is when they know where it's at. So that information is just important as pulling the final trigger, and it's that teamwork that's really finding it. Another feel-out kind of round for Boise State as they just go charging in. Sky shoots a man in the foot several times in a row. That's just aggression. That one was personal. They finally go back to pick up the spike, and they start charging into B site. It feels like more of a commit here. That Killjoy ult being dropped right on top. J-Bag getting in the plant now. And look at this space. What a beautiful pinch. This man stands no chance. Peeve darn near knife right there. J-Bag finding another one. They've just got him all over the map. B, it feels so connected. They have their tentacles all over, yeah.
J-Bag wins the mirror matchup. Great job. That is Boise State now going 8-3 up 5. Last round.
Yeah, that's one of the strange things about planting on B is that the rotate just feels different. You have to protect it from all sides, but that also means that there's no way for Kansas State to really work together. You've guaranteed that you're taking some one-on-ones while you're still playing in a team. It's very inside out.
It's like you go to point B because you trust in your ability to like win the 1v1s with the gunplay and kind of split the enemy team, but you also are aware that you have the backup of your allies, so it's kind of like it's the most open of the three because they can come at you from any angle, but you also, because they can come at you from any angle, you are much more likely to split them.
Yeah, it's an interesting give and take, and that's why we see it not chosen very often. Right here, they're just throwing stones from the spawn. Not a lot of damage has come out, but look at these ults. It is such a Cold War style of round now. You start to see these players coming in on A, and it feels so strong. Look at that kit dump. They've got everything online. A beautiful pinch onto one. Pedro to find Skies with that ult. All of them going in for an early plant. They've got all hands on deck for both teams. Kansas State, look at that sliver of health. Sova is barely hanging on. And the other 2 out of 3 players here have an ult in the bag. Dropping a few players here.
Remaining.
And wow.
Oh, it's the
that
Sova
just in the middle of it all, finally down.
Poor guy.
Must have sneezed. Aldum takes him to the 3K.
Aldum doing a fantastic job getting up on. I do appreciate the must have sneezed joke because that man was like single digits at least.
Oh,
he was so weak, he looked full health.
I had to zoom in to see the red.
And so it looks like Boise State is kind of going for maybe a C push. It looks like they're currently stacked that direction. We have a full arena tonight here, and we are hyped. Can we hear you guys cheer for Boise State? Thank you for that. We're excited that you're all here, and we're excited that we're kind of winning for you right now. So just to take advantage of this full arena, what would you describe the energy to be like in here?
Describe the energy to be like? Interesting. I mean, I think Boise State is not getting it over their heads, you know? Sometimes it feels like, oh, 9-3, we're pushing on double digits. We already took the first map. We got it in the bag. And it feels like you just want to play aggressive. You just want to play cheese, right? You just want to put everybody on jet and go ham. But they're still being respectful. They're still leaving the spike in the pocket, and they're still feeling it out. It's an intense battle here.
Pedro on that high ground.
They tried to feel it out, but Aldum thought, no, he can't be in there, and Pedro just popped right on.
And immediately as the smoke dissipates, Aldum comes back up like, oh no, there's a jet. And then immediately gets taken out. This is now a 2v2.
Yeah, what a dropping round. That was fast.
It looks like we see a long jet rotation here right now going all the way to A, whereas the Omen is anchoring C. And it looks like Kansas State is playing more together, so I do think they might have the advantage in that way if they encounter either one of Boise.
No, such advantage exists, and Skies knows exactly what the default is. Goes for the 360 and can't hold it in.
Just barely misses. But the Battle of the Omens, and J-Bag is planted 2 for 2 right now so far in the Omen 1v1. So hopefully,
the
the clutch comes out. Arya with a triple kill and fantastic gunplay. That man got a triple kill with a pistol.
Yeah, that was personal. We saw the Omen v Omen play out differently before. Oh, that 360 attempt was so close, and Crosshair on the nose, but you've got to aim and you've got to shoot. Very close here after the paranoia. Tries to get out of there shooting. Switches to the knife. Oh, it's so close. But a 4-9, we can take it. It doesn't mean they're going to be up in creds, so this is the default round from Boise State. Just looking to make lots of damage. They're not going to do anything crazy. They just want every kill that they can get. We don't expect them to take this one.
And it looks like, ooh, J-Bag is going to get eliminated pretty quickly by Pandy there. And it looks like Boise State is playing, they're split right now because Kansas State is coming right through the middle of them, so that jet has absolutely no assistance whatsoever. And it looks like, ooh, as Peeve's gonna take down Daimyo, leaving Alden by themselves there. Rihanna's just holding the angle. They're like, I know people are going to come.
Spike.
Rariana playing center, just not quite there. I mean, I feel like Kansas State just recognized, hey, we don't even have to win this round. They will come to us. And Boise State just playing a little bit too fast, a little bit too greedy on this space here as they got up for that ult orb. And oh, I don't feel the pressure. Let's play further forward. And Aldum's got shot down now. Aldum struggling for himself, can't quite find anything amidst the flash. And Kansas State get a flawless second round. We expect them to take the second round, but a flawless, it hurts a little bit.
That's going to leave Boise State hurting a little bit, especially in terms of like trying to even the eco.
Boise State now, after that one, is expecting their bye round, and Kansas State is just going to bonus up the guns they had from the last round after their first win. So this is a typical layout that we usually see. An 0-2 as for the half, bringing to a winning round, looking for Boise State as they just take out those easy Kansas State guns. Hopefully there's no upsets here, as Boise State would love to push themselves into the double digits and change the pacing of Kansas State.
Out of charges.
Ooh, Pandy's being very aggressive there. Daimyo can't see him through the smoke, holding his angles, waiting for somebody to come through. That Jet just dashes right past him, and then Daimyo's going to get the double kill before getting eliminated. Rihanna's going to go ahead and pick it up, though, getting the remaining 2 members in at this point. Alden's of the cleanup crew. Boise State taking it back.
Yeah, sure are. And that gun advantage was not the big difference that made that round go to Boise State. I mean, look at this just sit down. Jumps across the smoke as Kansas, led by Pandy, comes to come in. And look at this crazy triple take. It's in the middle of the flash, so people can't see much, but it goes there. Daimyo to find 2. And that's a trade we're willing to make when Rariana's ready to accept the rebound with another 2 kills. And that adds up to just, you know, 1 guy falling over to an easy win there. Boise State now a map and 5 rounds ahead. That's no change to laugh at. Kansas State has got to play careful here. They've got the spike in pocket. Sky from a distance all the way down the hallway takes one as he just ult trains Daimyo up an extra orb and then just goes sprinting out.
Does cost him some HP, though. Skies has to be much more careful in the engagements that they choose, and you see them going back to
he sprinted on over to Sky and got the heal. They got a free agent off that one. Boise State starting to play into C as Kansas recognizes they may own some serious space advantage on A. We start to see this rotation come out as they flood on over. And Boise State making their way downtown. They've got a little bit of a pinch set up here. They've got to be careful about that smoke. Sending one up to heaven and counter the second smoke, looking to flash out. Gets the jump, checks the typical angles, almost finds one in midair. Peeve to take the kill though onto Allman.
1 enemy
but with
remaining.
all hands on deck, Boise State owns the territory here and they're looking for a quick defuse.
J-Bag with the triple and free Rihanna doing a little bit of trolling there for the audience. Getting that defuse, gonna split some of it with Skies there, it looks like. No. We're all just kind of partying on the point, waiting for the defuse.
To defuse it. Or they don't have to.
They don't have to, but they do.
Have to.
Boise State getting pretty close to match point here. Kansas State still only 5 in this, and the Omen ult may be enough to win them the round here. We'll see if they choose to commit that or not. It looks like we're currently doing kind of a split defense here, a little bit on A, a little bit on B, leaving C wide open.
Yeah, a nice dense split. Boise State holding a lot of center area here, holding a lot of main. Hoping to accept a big center push from Kansas State. Anybody peeks through the window and we got him. Looks like that's not quite going to happen. Skies coming around the side, finds A perpetrators. Takes one down before going down. A Sova plus some damage will take it. Daimyo looking to follow in those footsteps and run down the hallway. Or maybe just post up front. Rariana gotten greedy with that window. Shuts one down, a second through the wall, and that spike drop. Now the win con has changed. Boise State is sitting on top of an unprotected spike. Kansas State is low on options and short on time. They've got 62 seconds to find a way around to infiltrate that area.
And it looks like Aldim is scouting out their one possible rotation there as the Omen's left the last man standing at this point. He's just trying to do what damage you can, and taking down Rihanna is pretty good. We'll see if they'll be able to get Aldim as well before falling themselves.
Oh, no.
Gets 2.
Wow.
You know, a valiant attempt by
What
Kansas
a
State.
beautiful.
I mean, honestly, okay, how much more can you ask for, though, when the enemy team is guarding your spike left on the ground? I feel like a double kill, that is the best you can possibly do in that situation.
Yeah, did well for sure. Another just great distraction tactic there, jumping out with the LMG to hope for some kind of a hit. Not quite going to be there, but we do get a knife in the back from Daimyo. 1 BM, and that brings them up to 12. This is match point. Kansas State, they don't have any more mistakes to make. They've got to play a clean game here if they want to see another round, because this
takes out
Daimyo.
That was their Hail Mary, and Daimyo just says, nah, you don't get to play this round.
Oh, the ult shut down quickly. PPR and Peeve playing back, just pushing that energy in the other direction. Oh, man, and J-Bag not quite there either. Don't play too loose. Take the game here. 1 remaining. It's the LMG to hold the night, and it can't be. It's not as quick as the Vandal, and it goes down PPR with an easy plant looking at round 6.
All right, but look at the smiles on the stage. Boise State's still feeling pretty good. We're still at match point, and we've got a couple more mistakes to make, having it 6 and 12.
Boise State can definitely afford them, but don't let it slip, right? Don't, you know.
Absolutely. Looks like Boise State's kind of spreading out to cover all points in terms of defense, it looks like.
Whoa, and a shorty is out by Skies. He does not need anything else. That means he's probably going to be playing with the knives. Sure enough, knives popped immediately. We also see Aldum with the judge. It's a funky round to be sure. Aldum actually retreats and reclears his own area with,
Jet
with the
dashes out
flash.
immediately.
He can't quite play into that courtyard with the judge that he's got. It's more of a, there we go. It's more of a corner cheat. He's ready to play this one. Unfortunately, gets got in the back with a bad pinch. They own C-site. Skies takes one from a distance. It only takes all of the knives. Now, dropping a second ult for the round on the side of Boise State to clear out this site. Tell them to back up. We have to see a rotation to A, as Araya makes a quick jump over and is now going to hop to heaven. Try to get...
Rihanna
can't pull
shoots
it back
first,
on
takes the
Ariana.
round for Boise State, and that is map 2-1 for Boise State. So, I mean, we're here to get excited. We're here to get loud. Boise State won the NACE against Kansas State, did a fantastic job, swept them, didn't give up a map. What thoughts do you have?
I mean, it was beautiful. I liked the gimmicks that we did get, you know, the knife in the back, the occasional jump shot, 1 or 2 shots at the 360. They definitely don't pay off, but I'm sure we got some good clips out of it.
They definitely don't pay off unless you're building a highlight reel, and there's definitely lots of content for Boise State to do that here tonight. And with that, do you have any thoughts on player of the game?
Ooh, player of the game. I mean, we'd seen some really clutch rounds from a couple of players, a couple of good 2s and 3s. We haven't had a first round ace in there. I'd love to see if production nominates for us.
Ooh. I'm excited.
Rihanna.
It's Rihanna. That was going to be my nomination. Always on the killjoy. Always exactly where the jet wasn't looking. And, I mean, so he got back up here. But did it really matter? Because Rihanna instantly sent him back to where he came from.
Yeah. Some definitely beautiful kills by Rihanna here.
For the 2v1 clutch for that last highlight. And then we'll kind of investigate this highlight. I don't remember this one in particular, so we'll have to see when it goes over to Rihanna and see what happens. Oh, this was the cheeky jump that immediately got punished by some pistol shots to the knee.
Which had to be audio entirely. I mean, there were only a couple of pixels there that weren't just red highlight for us.
And it looks like as we see Aldum kind of sneaking around a corner, we switch over to Rihanna. I'm expecting the kills to come here. We see the defuse. We see, this was the ye old bait and switch there. Aldum got shot through the flash, a noble attempt, but Rihanna was able to clean that up with ease and take the round for Boise State. Rihanna is your ICCU Credit Union Player of the Game. The Idaho Central Credit Union believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like they're helping their members achieve financial success. Again, Rihanna is your ICCU Player of the Game, and it looks like, to the excitement of the audience, their nomination for Player of the Game as well. So now that we've talked about player, let's go final thoughts, and then we'll talk about maybe some plays you want to see in the top 5.
Yeah, final thoughts. I think I've covered it. I want to hear your final thoughts.
My final, so I really want to say, one of the main critiques that sometimes Boise State gets is playing too aggro and not playing patient enough. And I think we got to see a good bit of both of those, right? We got to see some amazing Boise State aggression. We got to see the Jet fade in, murder everybody, and then just kind of take some knives and do their job, as it were. We got to see some amazing Skies play, some amazing Rihanna flanks, and some amazing play just all around. But we also got to see something that we don't actually get to see a lot of, which is Boise State play very patiently, very methodically, very much waiting for the enemy team to come to them.
Yeah, it is a tactical shooter, and it's important to play really technical and really tactical and understand the way that space has to do with things. So.
And our top 5 plays are presented by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. With more than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for, the Idaho Army National Guard is the best team out there. From all of us here at Boise State, thank you for joining us in arena and online, and have a good night. It wasn't a clean victory, but a victory is a victory, taking Boise State up 140.
Right. We'll say it. A win is a win.
A win is a win.
A win is a win. I feel like they were trying to just take extra space beyond that KJ and pick these individual battles, but you have to respect that gunplay. Wow, J-Bag getting the jump.
You mean that? Rihanna's going to do a fantastic job at taking Peeve out, but unfortunately, after they take out Daimyo, it looks like now it comes up to Kansas State's Omen to try to see if they can get the res off, but Boise State is hopefully going to be able to either insta-kill. Gets the clutch after immediately killing the res that comes out.
Yeah, interesting you talked to Kansas State on this last reach for the win. Wow. Ooh. What a push. J-Bag finding one with the op very quick. And immediately that space just needs to be respected. You should not be playing mid after a crush like that. Skies playing fast and loose with the knives here, finds another one, a 3K. We're only a few seconds top of that box safely and ends up just going down and running away. You have to be ready to quick just change on a dime here, which we might see again as neither a Boise State is on site, but Kansas State is ready to defuse this. Alden to play. Oh no, that flash does not go off long enough for Rihanna.
Get him, Rihanna.
Has this back.
A quad kill for J-Bag. We're looking for the last member of Kansas State to kind of walk in and maybe complete this kill reel for him.
Yeah, J-Bag doing well to really anchor, moving in just as far as he needs to, and then sitting there. Only 17 health left, but
corner.
Yeah, he doesn't have to push. He just got to wait for him, and bam! Oh.